Our guest this week is candidate for Abilene City Council, Place 4, Mr. Brian Yates. Mr. Yates, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for the invitation, Manny. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, you bet. Well, let's hop on into this. You're an East Texas native, Texas A&M alum, go Gig 'em Aggies, and an Air Force veteran. So before we get into the why of running for Abilene City Council, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, as you said, I was in the Air Force for 25 years and was stationed at Abilene twice, first from 2000 to 2003, so that was during the 9/11 period, and then I came back in 2013 as the Mission Support Group Commander, and in that job I was basically responsible for all of the technical details of running the base. I'm married, been married for 30 years, got 3 daughters. They're grown out of the house, and now I have the chance to give something back to Abilene.
That's very cool. Certainly appreciate your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, among the many things, you've served as the Vice President for Military Affairs for the Abilene Chamber of Commerce and as Director of Operations at Abilene Aero. Amidst all of that, why attempt to run at the Place 4 City Council seat?
So I had great experiences. First of all, when I got ready to retire in 2015 from the Air Force, Stacy and I had the opportunity to choose where we wanted to live. We've lived all over the world, Germany, England, all over the U.S., and Abilene was the place we chose. It's a great town, there's great people here, and they're very welcoming, and this is what we wanted to make our forever home. So when I retired, I had the chance to work with the Chamber of Commerce doing the military affairs associating with Diaz, and then I got to go back and fly some more with Abilene Aero, but I recently just retired from Abilene Aero, and now I'm looking for the next step.
So being in charge of a base like Diaz, what was that experience like?
It's humbling. The responsibility is broad. It's everything from infrastructure, civil engineering, to the security forces, to the communications, the logistics, supply, fuel, personnel, everything that's not flying or fixing airplanes or the medical group was my responsibility. And I had great people that took care of that. And all I had to do was make sure that they had what they needed to do their jobs.
Wow, so from all of that, running for a city council seat, one would assume that something like that has prepared you for an endeavor like this.
Those experiences are similar. I certainly met a lot of the people in Abilene that as I worked with them from the base, and they're the same people. I met Robert Hanna, I met the people at the chamber, I've met the city leaders. I worked very closely with the chief of police, the previous one. And it was a wonderful opportunity. It was very educational for me, and I think it was great preparation for this new endeavor.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, more from Brian Yates, candidate for City Council, Place 4, right here in Abilene. You're watching Big Country Politics on KTAB. Well, welcome back to Big Country Politics right here on KTAB. This is our Sunday chat. I am Manny Diaz. We're joined by Mr. Brian Yates, candidate for Place 4 City Council. Mr. Yates, you've mentioned maintaining partnership with Abilene's largest employer, Diaz Air Force Base. As a Place 4 City Council member, what would that look like?
Well, I had the blessing of seeing the support for the base from the base side of things, and how well the community embraces the airmen and the families and the people that are there. And so I want to make sure that continues. As a city council person, a member, it's not exactly the same thing, because you can't create a policy that everybody should be friendly. That just happens naturally as part of who Abilene is. But you can set policies that will affect things like housing and infrastructure and partnerships and shared purchasing agreements that will make it easier for the base, for the Air Force, to do their mission at Diaz.
On a post on your Facebook page, you listed attention to infrastructure and ensuring all first responders have the equipment, training, and funding necessary to thrive. Tell us about that, and perhaps how you plan to address those items.
Okay, I appreciate you bringing that up. That's good stuff. And I'll take them one at a time. So the infrastructure part, without infrastructure, nothing works. It's the foundation, the basis for all the other activity that goes on in a city. And so you have to create policies that allow that infrastructure to develop and be maintained and keep up with the pace of growth of the city. For example, we had in years past neglected to an extent to invest in our streets quite as heavily as we should have. I think we have corrected that now, but you don't want to go fix all the streets at the same time. First of all, that would be really expensive. Yeah. And second, then all the streets would wear out again at the same time, and you have the same problem again. So the approach to this is to make sure that you've got a deliberate and prioritized and methodical way to fix this over a decade. And then at the end of that period, you go back and start over, and it'll take a decade to fix, but then it's fixed in perpetuity. Sure. Same thing for water. If you're talking about water, we enjoy a good water situation now thanks to the work that our wise forebears have put in place. We have to be looking 50 years in the future to make sure that they think we're also wise.
That's infrastructure in water. In terms of first responders, equipping them with, of course, the equipment, training, and the funding necessary to thrive. If you can, expand on that.
So the police, fire, emergency medical, emergency management, all of those things that the city provides, you hope you never need those services. That's not something that we want to access on a daily basis. But when it's there, they have to be good at what they do, and they are. We've got some of the best services in any city, anywhere in the world. And I want to make sure that we maintain those high standards and provide them the opportunity to serve us.
Overall, I must say this is a pretty important question. Why would you like to serve as Abilene's next city council member, place 4? And if people want to know more about you, where can they go?
Overall, this is, without sounding too corny about it, this is a service thing. I've got the integrity, the leadership, and the skills from my life experiences that have prepared me to be able to offer that to the city of Abilene. My whole life has been a career of service, and this is just how I'm wired. So this is the next step. Since I'm now retired, I have the time and the interest to serve the citizens of Abilene. And I'm hopeful that the citizens will see that and choose me. Yeah. And if you want to find me, I'm on Facebook. You can look at Brian Yates for Abilene City Council, place 4. And on Instagram, Yates for place 4.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's Sunday Chat right here on Big Country Politics. For Mr. Brian Yates, candidate for Abilene City Council, place 4, I am Manny Diaz. We'll see you next week.